So here we have it. We're jumping right back into the swing of things. Taka, I mean, what are your expectations now, as we've seen so much Fortnite here today? We've seen a lot of different types of battles and games break out, even some adjustments being made here. What are we thinking?
All that there needs to be is just a little bit of method to the madness, right? And I love that Vivid actually highlighted the fact, in Ritual, for a team that we're so used to seeing be extremely composed and methodical and well thought out process. Yeah, that last high take, you know, maybe a little bit of a head scratcher, but Peterbot and Pollo is who I really want to talk about, because Peterbot and Pollo, at this point, if they're on the high ground MDF and they don't see anybody else, I almost expect them to just be like, let's just wait. Let's just not even bother with it right now, because 2 games back to back just being absolutely sabotaged from height in what looked like very winnable positions. It could definitely wear on the mental a little bit, but again, that's part of the reason why it's so easy to respect the pros and some of that mental fortitude that's involved with the game at times.
Yeah, it does make you wonder, like, why keep going for what seems to be the most risky play of them all, is maintain height in a grapple hook, you know, meta, essentially, when too many teams have accessibility to it. Yeah, that's been the reason they've had a hard time getting comfortable. We haven't seen them once just sit up there and then have a break. Like, there's no breaks with the grapple hook in play. When it wasn't that, it was Trashy, like, doing the early heal and then coming with an ambush play from the side of the zone. So, like, yeah, if it's not one thing, it's another. That's probably what they're thinking. But Vanilla's and Convict here end up wrapping up a pretty quick fight. So they end up catching Bronos there off the gate. Bronos and Mayus have not caught their footing yet.
And now the reason being, I think, is that Bronos and Miyu at Seaside Villa, they've been uncontested, I believe, the entire day so far. But Mills and Convict now looking to bring the fight to Bronos and Miyu. And yeah, one from above, one from below. Just really nice pincer play, I would wager. And Vanilla's again goes towards the backside. Love that decision though. But here in game 4, we're talking about a little bit earlier on, some of those teams are trying to make adjustments, and this I'll highlight that more later, because Crisp, Noxy looking to keep the action going here at Ruined Wheels up against Paper and Muzz. 2 pretty formidable teams now, and whoever walks away from this one could find themselves in a really strong position, MDF. Ruined Wheels definitely a decent POI to be able to rotate out of.
Yeah, other teams are rotating around it as well as we speak. So listening to the fights go down here, Crisp and Noxy have to make this quick, but Noxy falls. And vulnerability starts to open in, although Muzz is down as well. It's Paper v Crisp v the new team that just arrived from the high ground here, and they're going to be looking down to third party any second now. It's a very much experienced team in Rise and Yamzo, so tough spot to be in.
Seen for a moment that Crisp was going to be able to find that revive, but now instead, Paper does get the reboot card, but with the Yamzo and Rise being the ones hammering down on these 2 solos, Crisp, just the slightest bit of HP left to his name, doesn't want to find himself Elimdir either, wants to do everything he can to keep the ball rolling here. Because again, it's about making sure that you maintain that standing as well. And you want to be in the top 20, but Crisp, he's going to have to wait for the final match of the day to take matters into his own hands here, because Yamzo and Rise, this is a team that I would definitely wager is trying to find their win on the day in this match.
Yeah, it was actually huge for Paper, though. The fact that Crisp hit 2 crazy tags, and they were like, all right, wait, we got to heal, and then Paper just skates out of there.
With Muzz's reboot card.
Yep, with the reboot card. Not in ages, though. Interesting situation they find themselves in, so seems like they were losing the exchange against Broken and Virgo, and they go all the way to low ground here, trying to a bit of a reset. Yeah, look, minis used, big pots used. Yeah, so Kanata's not going to be happy at all with this exchange here. We haven't seen him with this slow of a start, I guess I should say, yet.
But he's doing what he can to try and get his mats up. Think he doesn't want to stray too far from Agers either, knowing that there's another duo still hanging around the vicinity of Ritzy. But on the opposite end of the map, over by Hazy Hillside, Chubbs, Bryce. Again, quite a few teams surrounding them currently. And what looks to be a possible solo here. No, Shonye just a little bit more tucked away, more hidden on the bottom side of that hill. But maybe not hidden enough. Bryce able to connect. Some pretty heavy damage up against the likes of Shonye and Bryce. Chubbs. They could have opted to chase that one out even further. Instead, gonna look for an opportunity to get their shields up. Might even just take the chance here, having forced Mitu and Shonye further down that Hazy Hillside, that now they can just loot out the POI. Without having to worry about the team.
Look at this hold off right here. Oh, Skqttles just waiting. Tempted with the sniper there. This is why you never really know. Even in a box fight, the snipers might just come out. Doesn't get what he's looking for, so they're going to go and hit the disengage. There's a team waiting on the railroad tracks, though. And Tyler and 20 try to take advantage of that opportunity now, too. But no, Trashy looks back, finds the tags there, and 20 severely damaged now. Skqttles and crew considering coming back to finish the fight, but they're already out there. Probably not worth it. Look at this. Kanata caught off, finished off. Yeah. Something didn't quite go well for them this time around. This is a completely different team now. Cam and Aminish here in game number 4, and Kanata gets finished off. Probably singled out, likely caught just trying to farm up the Ritzy Rivera by himself.
Yeah, with Cam and Aminish dropping at Riviera Station. I mean, that's practically the next door neighbor there to Ritzy Riviera. So Agers, Kanata gonna find themselves coming up short here in game number 4. Right now, upper bracket is probably the primary concern here for Agers and Kanata, but at the same time, Cam and Aminish, they got to be feeling pretty good now, because even though they're in the zone, I mean, it's an early zone, nothing to really be too concerned over, but it's more so the fact that since they are on that far west side of the map, pushing in from Ritzy, I would imagine that it wouldn't really be them rotating, expecting anybody to come behind them, which can definitely be some nice pressure alleviation.
Looks just looking for anything, but nothing in sight. Little does he know, though, there's a lot of movement. It's just not where he could see it. Players already rotating their way on out.
I'd almost be scared, though, to just sit inside of a bush at times, like what we saw Skqttles doing, because we do just see so often players choosing to spray any bush that they traverse across, especially if you've got like a decent scope on a sniper. Just take a wild shot into a bush. You never know what might turn up in the process.
Takes you back to the days, kind of like your fellow era would have almost popularized shotgunning every bush, just blatantly blind fire a bush, and people were, you know, kind of looking at these crazy, like, yeah, really, is it that serious, right? Look, it is that serious. Like, now everyone does it.
True pioneer of the craft in terms of bush hunting.
It's true.
But Peterbot, Oil, this is the kind of hunting that we're so used to seeing them do. Just tracking down eliminations, looking for a potential fight. And Haj, Flexi, already down for the count.
Oh, Boya found Flexi there with the side angle while Peterbot was distracted for a second. That's going to be their first elim here in this exchange. And already finding just that one, the other teams quickly stop looking to push in. They're like, yeah, not worth it. This fight's pretty much done.
Same can't be said, though, for Flo and Aoxy as they're dealing with the likes of Walkers and Shadow, but Walker's Shadow might not necessarily be too interested in trying to tango with Flo and Aoxy. Instead, Flo, Aoxy going to be able to spread just a little bit further west from Pleasant Piazza. Try to create some space, I think, away from Walkers and Shadow. Just a lot more focused on trying to get the materials to cap. That's what it seems to be the priority right now for Flo and Aoxy.
Reading Ritual. Low ground here, not necessarily in the best spot right now, but they do have the health advantage over me too. Shawnee tries to jump in. He thought he was slick, but that's going to be a huge mistake here. Essentially falls right into the spider's web of Re and Ritual. They get the full finish. They pick him up. Don't waste any beat there. And look, there's also a Sharkman and Elsa just across the way. Watching what's going on here. Yep, so for Ritual and crew, they're just going to try to finish this off quickly, find the tags here, but what a mistake for Shawnee.
Just a little bit curious as to why he went so aggressive without his duo to immediately back him up, but I doubt that Rita Ritual are complaining. You even saw 0 bullets initially on that mythic Hyper SMG, now up to 258 ammo, so that was a pretty substantial refresh for the likes of Rita and Ritual to acquire. Ziam Zone Rise now, poised, potentially ready to strike just inside edge of zone here between Ruined Reels and Fencing Fields, and this is a nice spot to be even because they can almost capture teams that are looking for rotations from both of those major POIs.
Yeah, and they have options everywhere too. See the other teams already moving to try to get into it's a base up type spot. Looking Duke threats here. Finding Pamsto and Lawrence. They do have the advantage over him. He's got the cover and the surprise element to work off of, but I'm not sure how I feel about that right now inside the Ruined Reels. And yeah, Lawrence and Pamsto not going to take the bait. Not willing to walk through all that uncharted territory. Meanwhile, Reek and Ritual push into the Sharkman duo, and another team joins this fight, if you will. And it's messy. It's Booga. It's Aviv.
Messy's not exactly on the agenda here today for Re and Ritual either. Definitely a quick pause coming into play for Re and Ritual. Same could be said, though, for Elsa and Sharkman and Booga and Aviv. Very similar to what we've been seeing from them all day as well. Kind of just hanging towards the outskirts, waiting to see, are these two teams going to do something first? If not, we could maybe look to catch one of them on a rotate out. I think that's the main thing that Booga and Aviv are kind of waiting for. They're just looking for openings. Doesn't matter which duo happens to open up their box or edits first. It's all about timing right now for Booga and Aviv and making sure they don't try to charge in too soon before the fight has really full engaged between these two teams right now.
And Booga's already wrapping his way back around from the other position that he came from. He had that angle originally before they gave it up. Clicks and Epic Whale also in a very scrappy battle here, but they end up finishing 2 for their troubles already. And it's another Rift Island battle.
Which again, a bit surprising to see so many teams paying this much attention towards trying to take engagements up on top of Rift Island. And not too far from Clicks and Epic, see the likes of Peterbot and Pollo kind of lurking, Dolzier and Maxo. Trying to be careful, don't want to get swallowed up in the process. I know that there's other teams lingering around. Clicks likely just following wherever the audio cues are leaning from. But he does have Epic Whale holding a box above him.
I just saw Muzz pick up an elimination too onto Aoxy, so that means Paper picked up Muzz successfully, and they're still cooking in this game. Might be a little comeback story for Muzz and Paper. Golden Acorn again. What can they do as a duo? Can we see them turn online, make it to end game, and do something big? rough first 2 games. Definitely puts them off the pace of where they want to be. Muzz and Paper, it's like he never had an issue to begin with. We're right back into the swing of things here. 2 eliminations here. Ooh, and they singled out Flo, who's a solo here. So what's it going to be for Muzz?
Flo is practically trapped. I don't want to say he's a rat in a cage just yet, because you can see that sniper scope peeking its way out. You never know.
That huge barrel just through the wall.
All I need to see is the shine, and that's enough for me to change my mind most of the time. As we head back on over to the Rift Island. Clicks here as well, and I mean, you touched on MDF. The sniper, even in some of these close engagement box fights, it can be problematic if you're not careful. Clicks is definitely one to look for pressure with that Reaper sniper.
Back to Boy and Peterbot back up here on the Rift Island. It's just a 3-way tug of war. Yeah, nothing coming out of it just yet. See where zone goes, though. This is going to determine a lot. Okay. It's not too bad, actually, for these teams up here by the Rift Island.
No, even probably beneficial for these teams on the Rift Island, because they can always just take the launch pads for quick and efficient rotation into the next zone. 20 and Tyler, though, after having just collected a couple of eliminations onto Curve and Mansion, definitely got to be feeling really good about this refresh, though. This is the kind of material that you want when you're trying to actually find yourself moving effortlessly from the mid-game into the end-game circumstances. You can see here, 20, Tyler. Look at how they're choosing to attack just head-on up against the likes of Curve and Mansion. Take down their wall, immediately charging in, one after the other. It's just so much immediate pressure being applied. Doesn't give any sort of response time.
And that's crazy, because Curve and Mansion were inside the top 10. They fell early last game, kind of in the same type of time, like around this time. So back to back now, they might officially be slowly slipping their way out of top 20 now. It's gonna be a tough spot. Reed actually gets saved here by Richard. I wasn't sure if that was gonna be possible. Seems like anything is possible here. Teams are in sync. There's a quick heals, gets the effects, and Ritual's off to the races here.
But they need a refresh of some sort. Whatever engagement they just got caught up in, it expended so many materials here from Ritual. Now,
whoa!
and we're gonna talk about a refresh.
Okay, he wants it.
He needs it at this point. Ritual, hey, never too low on build, I suppose, but at the same time, no going
so
down.
Dangerous. So dangerous. Ritual goes all the way inside the box by himself. And Caesar is like, really? Turns that entire thing around. Oh, it was so close yet so far. You hate to see it go down like that. And honestly, a beautiful tag as well.
That was just, it was everything Reed and Ritual could have wanted up until it wasn't. Reed just unable to make that same rotate. Likely because their mobility was so limited to just those 2 crash pads. Other teams in the lobby taking note and just immediately open fire on Reed and Ritual.
It also just really leans into the strength of the grapple hook, right? Like if you didn't appreciate how good the grapple hook could be in a loadout, right there, regardless of what mobility you have, nothing is going to get you to that box faster than a straight shot from a grapple hook, right? That would have been the difference.
Probably keeps Reet alive there too.
Yep.
If they both, or if at least Reet would have had the grapple there. But can't keep contemplating what ifs forever, because right now it's about whether or not Threats and Duke can make some magic happen here. They need a little bit more damage. 62 below the threshold for the time being. can hear some action taking place in some boxes directly underneath them, but threats, Duke, don't want to go charging in blindly just yet. Clicks and Epic, well, actually not looking to be in the best condition, but it's not like Threats and Duke get the same overview that we do, so they'll opt to just move themselves a little bit further towards the safety of zone. And now just taking shots at the team stuck behind. Epic, Clicks.
Yeah, it was actually well played. They recognized that this team was paused for a second. They were definitely not moving when they should be rotating. Clearly not safe. They cut them off. They get in front of them. And now Clicks and Epic Rail just, get what was coming to them essentially with the late rotate right there. Just the Bobby's attention, right? Full on focus comes in here from all types of angles. Nothing you can do there. Building upwards, not going to help you. Jump to the other side. Pamsu gets finished off by Baka and Pars here. Baka and Pars having a late tournament comeback.
Can't ever really count these two out, though, that's for sure. Especially given their performance throughout opens. And for sure, a team that can be very effective in terms of acquiring placements in the endgame moments, but now moving zones, starting to approach Baka and Pars. It's always funny when you see a player get cut off temporarily by a tree during the grapple. But Baka and Pars, they're just watching some of these teams go flying right by them. They seem a little bit more content, though, to kind of hang towards this backside of zone.
Yeah, this is a good spot to be in right here. You have this big rock blocking the line of sight. They're in a low divot. They shouldn't get focused by any means. And we still don't know which way the zone's going to pull. Yams on Rise, taking a different approach here. A lot more height, more visibility, more information on the entirety of the lobby. And it's going to go back up and over, so they'll get one of the first clear shots here. Gotta rotate if they want to take it. Look at that. They wait around for too long, and all of a sudden Muzz and Paper are trying to play for high ground. Muzz and Paper have to make something big happen here, and this is probably why they want to just go for this victory opportunity while they have it. But perfect time. Production knows. Show us Peterbot. This is the guy who's going to challenge height every single time. He's not going to make it easy. He's already looking at his competition. Who is where? What is around me? And honestly, how can we mess that plan up? This is kind of how I feel about it.
Well, right now, Peterbot, Poyo, Peterbot specifically trying to challenge Pars and Baka, just absolutely shredding through their builds. Doesn't even give them a moment to think. Peterbot, Poyo find one elimination now onto Pars. Baka just barely managing to escape their clutches, but at the same time, look at the high ground. Paper and Muzz actually find themselves in that secondary height layer now. They were trying to be the first team to actually base up on height, but the way that the zone pulled, it just forced them for a brief moment not to be able to full commit to that. And now Vanillas and Convict, they're going to be the ones instead trying to maintain this high ground, but will continue to push forward. I mean, you got to keep going where the zone goes.
I like that, though. He uses the effects of the fizz there to get all the way across there. They recognize it's going to be too long of a push, but also it just goes off the high ground spot, so definitely risky to try to play that one out. Meanwhile, Cold is getting active here on the mid-ground layer. Likely trying to set himself up for the refresh right now as he's working his way towards duos. Kind of cut one off unintentionally, and now look, they go into his tarp. That's a mistake for sure. Cuts one off, cuts the other off, boxes him now too. And they might just get the finisher. Cole leaves it to Acorn to get the chase down. Doesn't want to take any damage here. Meanwhile, Booga, completely different story. Noah Vive here has to play for himself, finds Muzz on the rotate there. And this is anyone's game right now. Too many players are alive right now. And high ground is completely uncontested for the time being, but if they don't have heals, we already know it's not going to be easy. So big ground layers go for the fight. Daxty's going to make sure he puts his opinion on it, and Roxanne goes up to support. And just like that, we might just have this game play all the way out, no heal-offs. If it's up to Acorn and Cold, that's for sure. Look, they're the new kings of high ground.
But meanwhile, in these low ground layers, it's Booga, it's Peterbot. Peterbot still managing to find eliminations, even as a solo. Massive shot, though, to Peterbot's backside, and it's going to be Peterbot actually applying some pressure here onto Booga. Booga now forced into the water. No builds left to his name. He'll find himself eliminated shortly after. Same could be said for Peterbot as he winds up falling, just waiting for the final lobby of the night here. Cold Acorn dropped from height, but for good reason. They know that they've only got a handful of teams here on the low ground. They want to try and challenge. Acorn caught up, Mantle necessarily, but it's not going to deter. Cold, in fact, and Acorn just back-to-back eliminated Skqttles with a massive come-up here because Zooks and Bolts bound to reap the rewards for these low-ground teams taking each other out.
And Cold had the grapple hook. They just didn't realize that Zooks was up top, literally chilling, watching them just put in work right now. But look at this low ground. Trashy's got 6 med kits. The Flowberry Fizz is going to come out here. So, okay. I mean, they have options at this point. He's going to definitely have to heal. Chubbs tries to fight for high ground, so he's going to disrupt the heal off for as long as he potentially can. And that actually might be the winning moment right there to give Trashy the room. But we'll just have to find out if the medkits can even survive this long. I'm like honestly confused how many you can pop back to back. It does seem like Trashy has the lead here for HP either way, though, just as far as the tick is concerned. So if Bolts doesn't find a tag, if he doesn't get active here, I mean, this game's going to just slip by him. He's not quite sure, too, where to look. It's like, where is this opponent?
If it's going to come down to a war of attrition, though, Trashy still with a couple of med kits in tow. Bolts down to this last one now. He's just
what's this?
Gotta
look
look
for the chest. No way,
finds
finds the
another
med
med
kit and pops it in time. Wow, that was so actually close. He could have found something for a time. Hey, you gotta respect the decision processing right there, right? Like, he has to make a quick move, right? Go for the chest, try to find the player. Like, he had no idea what the player was. He was looking for so long.
And it was obvious that as long as he had absolutely no idea of where that last player is at, it doesn't matter what you do, because at that point, your only option, if you're Bolts, is to try and look for more heals. 100% respect the decision there, but it's just a little bit too little too late kind of circumstance.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you know what? They kept it interesting, all things considered, for a heal off. For a second there was a chance. Skqttles and Trashy ended up taking the win here. We've seen a lot of them on the day here. A couple big elimination games, and now they get to earn the Victory Royale to just solidify it, right? Make it unquestionable. Can't contest the W at this point.
I think I would have been a little heartbroken, gutted, mentally shambles if 6 medkits wasn't enough to carry me through, but I'm sure we're not the only ones wondering what some of these players need to do in this final match. We got the desk instead to handle that.